some of my transport types defined now. Well, actually, I've had them defined. I fine-tuning the input logic as far as placing it in the map editor, which will be similar in the game scenario, except with the exception of build times costs and supply line modifications that are applied to the map supply hex supply rather, not supply lines. Supply lines are a modifier to a hex. The hex itself contains the aggregated supply and penalties applied to it, depending on what infrastructure is present. Terrain has an input for that. Transportation has an input factor for that, and infrastructure, otherwise military related buildings and establishments, as well as towns, cities, etc., or industry will have effects that will aggregate into totals for hex values that will generate overall the supply model for in-game use. This is an example of how I can layer dragon's teeth on top of roads, etc. I have railroads. I have several different types of transport line. Narrow gauge, standard gauge. These are defensive transport type placements. They're just 2D models, cheap to render, and can be placed with the precision that transport lines can be placed, so it doesn't yield circuit board appearance. When it's painted to the map, you can actually make it artistically pleasing with some semi-natural curving and directional logic, so it makes transport placements for visual mapping far more enjoyable to look at and play a map that looks like this, as opposed to like I said, the circuit board that you can get in hex modeling a lot, because it's you have a node that is shaped exactly the same with the exact same points repeatedly over and over again, so you got to apply different concepts of placement to different models to get a varied appearance. Not everything can map to the hex in the same form, in the same manner, or else you get the chipboard look. So you have to do like this, and this will still affect like the hex. It still will read the hex determined by the centroid. The centroid will be determined by where the transport crosses. So this hex has road in it. This hex has road in it. Not sure how I'm going to handle edge detection at this point in time. These are things that that I'm aware of, and I'll keep in my notes, and I'll address as I continue to, or when I actually get into defining the game logic, the rules. But for now, the placement logic and the definitions are established, and currently fine-tuning input controls and functions in the map editor, so that when I go to translate them to the in-game use, it's as simple as refining the existing controls that I've established in the editor and applying different rules to them. So the work is being done for the game in the editor, and it's as simple as, like I just said, taking the same engine functions and remapping them to the game scene functions separately, and applying different placement logic to them in code, which is very simple in comparison to defining the entire pipeline for placement, and variables that go into cost and the rotation logic and all that crap. It's a lot easier to do it this way than it is to do it all at once for each single subject matter. In my opinion, I don't have any experience doing it the other way that I just said. This would be easier to do then, so I can't really say that for certain, but I'm assuming that this is a lot easier. It's easier for me to mentally digest personally, so that therefore, yes, it is the better method of creating these game elements for me personally. Alright, and that's my video for today. Game scene is starting to look like a game little by little, day by day, as I fine-tune these systems now. Transport fine-tuned and terrain fine-tuned, and they will be visually and user-friendly in application. Visually appealing and user-friendly in the way they're applied to the map editor via controls, and those controls will translate with alterations to their definitions into the game scene. That's development progress in motion. Touch check.